Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. Before I start, that's the Lexus flagship. I quite like that design and the style, and I like that colour as well. Anyway, last week, as you know, I did a video about David's bridal and the latest chapter in that saga and how it's all gone belly up. Well, if you go down the bridal dress rabbit hole, you'll find a tangent leading off it into the engagement ring rabbit hole, and that's going the same way as David's bridal dresses are. Because looking around yesterday, I found this. Now this, as you can see, is Wilkinson, and it's the International Jeweler site. Now this was done on October the 2nd, 2017, and as you can see, Jane Paul Tolkowski Diamond Company files for bankruptcy in the US. Now it's just about it, but if you drop right down to the bottom, it's there. The company is a midstream supplier of diamonds, buying rough from miners, then cutting, polishing and or setting the stones and selling them to retail jewelers. Among the company's clients is Signet Jewelers Limited, which you know I've commented that they've gone belly up to a point, which carries Tolkowski branded collections to its Cray Jewelers and Jared to the gallery of jewellery chains. Now this company has gone belly up because it can't supply diamonds to Signet Jewelers, which are also suffering a decline in diamond sales for engagement rings, i.e. the MGTOW effect. So as you can see, apart from David's bridal, the MGTOW effect is having a knock on sales for diamonds. Now that was done on 2017, about 5 years ago. Fast forward to June 24th, 2019, you have another diamond file company going belly up. Enchanted Diamonds files for bankruptcy. Now it says it has liabilities of $1.7 million. In other words, it's $1.7 million in the hole. They used to have a showroom in Times Square in Manhattan. If you're living in Manhattan, New York, you might have passed that shop a few times, and if it's all boarded up, now you know the reason why. They filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, wherever that is, on June the 20th on 2019. So that should be all settled in court by now. And customers in 11 US states have contacted the Bureau in recent weeks complaining about lack of communication with this shop. So in other words, people across America have been buying diamonds probably via mail order, via the online site, and they've not had the diamonds, and they've not seen the money as a refund. And it just goes down. It has since confirmed it does not happen. Rare Carat will file lawsuits and pay legal fees for consumers who say they have not received their orders. Now that's just a small article. If you look around, I looked around further, that was June 24th. Also on the same day, the site called InStore also reported this company going belly up, so you can say that it's a definite. Enchanted Diamonds, Manhattan-based diamond retailers filed for bankruptcy. New York Daily News reports, and there you go, $1.8 billion in the hole, and that's the article. Now, if you fast forward to July the 1st, 2019, the Jeweler magazine, the official source of jewelers, they've also reported it going bankrupt. You see that what's happening, people? It's a knock-on effect. The Enchanted Diamonds International online diamond retailer, online, which means they sold diamonds via their website, headquarters in New York City, has unexpectedly declared bankruptcy, leaving its customers in the lurch. And then it just reports more or less what the other ones have reported. One customer reported filed a lawsuit against Diamonds over a $35,000 diamond custom ring that did not materialize. Why didn't he buy the diamond, that kind of diamond ring, in a shop? I'm sure there's lots of high-end jewelers in New York, and he could have gone into any of them and splashed his money out and walked out with a diamond ring. But anyway, now fast forward to today. Now, this is, as you can see, Yahoo News. In Business Insider, an engagement gap is blamed for the sharp drop in ring sales, America's largest jeweler says. There's that picture again, those two models in the previous video. Now this is about Signet Jewelers, more or less going over what it said before, but you fast forward from the previous report. So what's happened over the past couple of years is what we anticipated and what we planned for. Here you go. Engagement ring sales were lackluster in fiscal year 2023. And we expect them to remain so for the balance of fiscal year 2024. There's huge loss for Signet, as 50% of overall sales come from bridal, according to CNN. The report reported that Signet's engagement ring sales will need to increase 25% by 2026 to reach the level of engagements they saw before the pandemic. And then it does a mention about David's bridal. But Signet is optimistic about engagement ring sales will return to pre-pandemic numbers based on the dating patterns the company is seeing. And it says people begin getting back in the lockdowns, dating in fact from 8% to pre-COVID levels. Well, that's questionable. Now, you go on Business Insider, more or less the same day, America's largest jeweler company says ring sales are on the decline as fewer people get engaged. That is the MGTOW effect. Signet Jewelers said an engagement gap the US is contributing to declining diamond ring sales. Other parts of the bridal industry are also feeling the effect. There's the MGTOW effect. As fewer Americans opt to tie the knot, jewelry companies are reporting a dip in engagement rings. There's the MGTOW effect again. And then it reports Signet Jewelers, the largest jewelry company in America. Retailers are suffering from an engagement gap that's been about 3 years in the making. So if you go back to the date 2020, MGTOW started gaining traction in 2010, 2018. So this is the delayed effect of the MGTOW effect, affecting the jewelry sales. And then it goes blah, blah, blah. We've been anticipating coming tailwind. No, you haven't. We expect to drive this significant episode in our business over the coming years. Jewelers aren't the only companies feeling the bridal slump. David's bridal, blah, blah, blah. The company also announced it would lay off 9,000 employees. That's David's bridal. And that's the article. Now, it's not just in America that this is happening. So looking around, I found this. This is Jing Daily, the business of luxury in China. Diamonds aren't forever. Young Chinese no longer say I do to marriage and rings. Now, this was done on January 18th this year. And it's quite a long article. A few years ago, Chinese-based affordable diamond brand became a household name largely due to successful marketing efforts since its launch in 2006. Last December, Hong Kong idol Jordan Chan and his wife became ambassadors, and then a few months celebrated, blah, 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 all sweetness and light. Those probably the advertisements in China, and then It came as a major surprise to many of the diamond ring companies suddenly filed for bankruptcy in early January 2023. According to Chinese corporate database Tai An Yancha, Aidu's parent company Heng Zai Zili has filed for bankruptcy reorganization. So the MGTOW effect could be affecting China. As you know, the MGTOW philosophy is global. It doesn't matter what country you're in. If you're a man, you can go your own way. Information about China Judicial Enforcement Public Database shows that the company paid $1 million upon receiving compulsory execution orders since October 2022. And then it goes yada 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 all about it, and says chief competitor Dairy Ring, the key to a future relevance lies in whether they can expand their product categories and convey the value to young Chinese consumers beyond marriage and weddings. Now, if by chance you do get married or engaged to be married and you give your fiancé a ring, if you go bankrupt, who has custody of the ring? I was looking around, I found this. This is a site called Sakura. Now, this was done on August the 12th, 2020. And marriage is a life-altering event, blah, blah, blah. This guy called Moon wished to be married. He already proposed for his bride-to-be, who wore an engagement ring on her finger. The ring was valued at $30,000 US, making it quite a valuable stone. Probably like that. However, in the month following his proposal, Moon realized he might need to consider filing for bankruptcy. In other words, he's up to his ears in debt, and he couldn't pay his debts off, so the assets had to be sold to pay off the debt. Specifically, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, often referred to as liquidation chapter. If you're an American, you'd know what that is. Chapter 7 bankruptcy involves the filing a debtor to retain certain assets, with the remaining assets, if any, are sold and distributed pro rata to his creditors in an effort to partially satisfy the debts that are not wiped thanks to filing. The filing debtor assets are determined at the time of filing. All well and good. Now, this bit is interesting. On the outside, it might appear obvious. The ring is a gift. Moon's fiancé is uninvolved in the bankruptcy process and is not filing for bankruptcy. Ergo, the ring would belong to her. Well, not exactly. The ring does not technically belong to his fiancé. It still belongs to Moon, the guy who gave it to her. Moon has yet to be married, though he intends on marrying within the year of filing. The engagement ring only belongs to his fiancée under the condition that they be married. Once that contractual obligation is fulfilled, the ring becomes hers. Because the promise is fulfilled under this condition, the engagement ring still belongs to Moon, the guy, because it is a conditional gift, not a pure gift. Thus, if Moon is not married at the time he files for his bankruptcy, the engagement ring is deemed a part of his assets. So, in other words, if he doesn't want to marry her, she's got to give the ring back, but she'd probably be desperate to get married, because if they do get married, then that $30,000 diamond ring belongs to her, and he can't touch it. All very technical. And then it goes on about it, yada, 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 yada. And that's the Sakura form. To finish off, I found this. Now, most of you, or a lot of you, are in America. If those of you happen to live in the state of Minnesota, and you're a Minnesotan, this should be of interest to you. It's about the same thing as the moon thing, but for your state. Wedding and engagement rings can be very valuable in terms of how much money they are worth, as well as in terms for their sentimental value. For this reason, there are specific provisions in both the Federal Bureau Bankruptcy Code as well as under Minnesota state law, which exempt and protect wedding and engagement rings to a certain value. In Minnesota, debtors can choose whether to use the Federal Bankruptcy Code or Minnesota law to exempt their property. So if you're a Minnesotan and you're getting engaged and you suddenly decide you don't want to marry the girl, by law, Minnesotan law, you can get that ring back and she doesn't have it and you won't be out of pocket. But as it is in America, the company says ring sales on the decline as fewer people are getting engaged. And as you know, that's going to have a knock-on effect. And I expect more diamond sellers are going to be in bankruptcy because the engagement gap is to blame for the sharp drop in ring sales. But there's no mention that the engagement gap is a backlash to women being picky, and the engagement gap is a knock-on effect of the MGTOW effect across America. I'll have a look, see if I can find anything more on this, as it's a rabbit hole off the bridal dress rabbit hole. But I think I'm over the 10-minute mark now, so I'll leave it at that. You know the routine, people. Dislike, comment, subscribe. Completely up to you. I naturally put all these links below. So until next Monday, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.